Hey guys, I'm back with another video. So today's video is about nights off at camp and just nighttime in general, because I feel like I've spoken a lot about how the days run, what we do on days off, post camp, but I haven't really spoken about night times at camp. So first of all, I will start with nights off. We have about 3 to 4 nights off a week, depending on whether it's like a changeover week and just things like that. And the admin team obviously makes sure they're even throughout the summer for you and your co-counsellors. At my camp, we have from 9 p.m. until 12:30 off. So the evening activity normally ends around 8:30. Sometimes it can be a bit later. So our nights off start at 9 because it gives us time to get them all back to the cabin, make sure all there, make sure our co doesn't need anything, and then we are free to leave. So the rule at my camp is obviously back at camp by 12:30 and signed in, and then we have until 1 a.m. to make sure we're back in the cabins, head on pillows. So, you know, if you want to go sit in the staff lounge, have a little chit chat for about half an hour, or go shower if you really wanted to, you know, have a bit of time to yourself, we do have that extra 30 minutes, but it's heads on pillows by 1. So at my camp, they often try to do like every other night off, so 1 on 1 off, just to give you that little break that you might need if you're tired. And also, if you did want to swap, obviously you could talk to your co and be like, oh, could I have this night off? And, you know, if they said yes, it was fine. But a lot of the time, this is why I love my admin team, especially Zoe. She did all the rotas, and like obviously they try and make sure you're with your friends, and obviously sometimes that doesn't work out depending on days off and their co-counsellors, but I would have at least 1 night off with like my friends every week, which was amazing. So some of the things that we did on our nights off, we'd go out for food, like to Applebee's, or we'd, you know, do a little shop at Walmart or Target if we could make it there in time, because that's shut earlier than Walmart, or just simply go to McDonald's. Sometimes if we didn't want to go out, we'd just chill in the staff lounge, order some food, you know, hang out, watch a movie, things like that. Sometimes you do need that break of just sitting down and not doing anything, which I did sometimes. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what you do when you are on duty. So these are your nights in the cabin with the kids. So when you're on duty, you're pretty much just in the cabin with the kids for the evening. So after evening activity, you all head back there. At my camp, the seniors are able to shower in that period of time, and so I had seniors, so a lot of the time they would go shower and then they'd come back and just get ready for bed, hang out, have a chat. If there's anything to do with seniors going on, like banquet, where they needed to talk and plan stuff, they'd do that then. And yeah, they'd just like have some chill time, have some downtime before going to bed. We had different lights out time for the different age groups. So juniors, I believe, was 9 p.m. With flashlight time if they were good, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. I'm obviously senior counsellor, so I can't quite remember. And then intermediates is 9:30 and seniors is 10, and obviously they can have flashlight time afterwards, but if you told them to turn off their flashlights and go to bed, they would listen. So depending on, like, if I knew we had a really busy day the next day, I would be like, right, come on guys, we've got to go to bed. And they would listen and go to bed, which love them for it. So at my camp, we also have something called a rover, which is essentially for after 9 p.m. when your co-counsellor is gone, and obviously you're the only one in the cabin, you can't leave the cabin. But say you need to go get meds, or you want to grab a quick shower, or things like that, you just ask for the rover, and it's normally a support staff that isn't in a cabin with the kids, or if your cabin happens to have 3 counsellors, potentially you are going to be rover. So they will come into your cabin whilst you quickly go shower or go do what you need to do, and then obviously when you come back, the rover would leave or go to the next cabin, and then once there is like no more requests for the rover, they can go sit up on the playground or on the rocking chairs by the lodge, and they kind of just hang out, making sure everyone's okay, making sure the lights go out when they're meant to, so they're not keeping other cabins awake, because obviously it will shine through into the cabin next door. So they're just doing stuff like that up on the top until 11 o'clock, which is when they are relieved and they can go off to bed. So yeah, that's my little spiel on nights off. And there's not too much to say about them. because it is what you make it really, and obviously a lot of camps are different. So my friend's camp, I know you get off at dinner time, I think around 6 or 7, and then they have to be back in at midnight, I believe, or 11. So it always depends on what times and whether it crosses over dinner or not. So I know she would go out for dinner with her friends a lot more because it was over dinner time, whereas we didn't really go out for dinner that often because we obviously had already had dinner and it was 9 p.m, so it was pretty late as is by the time we got out of camp and drove to where we were going. But yeah, that is everything I have to say about nights off, I think. If you do have any more questions about like how they work and everything, just let me know down below.